So let's talk about what a perpendicular line is. Parallel lines are two lines that have the same slope and they do not meet. They're right next to each other. They go on forever. They never intersect. Parallel lines do intersect, and specifically, parallel lines intersect at a 90-degree angle. So parallel lines cross, they make sort of an L shape like this. 90-degree angle is how they intersect. And perpendicular lines or perpendicular slopes are negative reciprocals. And we've talked about reciprocals before. Reciprocals just mean we take the number and we flip it. So, for example, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, and the reciprocal of 5/3 is 3/5. And then we've talked about how to do the reciprocals of whole numbers. The reciprocal of 4 is 1/4, which means the reciprocal of 1/7 would just be 7, right? Those are reciprocals. Negative reciprocal means we flip it like this, but we also change the sign. So for example, if our number was 2/3, the negative reciprocal would be negative 3/2. If our original number was, let's say, negative 5/3, the negative reciprocal would be positive 3/5. If we started with negative 4, we would flip it to make it 1/4 and then change the sign to positive 1/4. And then likewise, if we had positive 1/7 and we flipped it, the new number would be negative 7. So that's what we mean when we say negative reciprocals. We flip it, but then we change the sign from positive to negative or from negative to positive. So we've got a design here, and according to the problem, it's the outline of a logo for a company. And the very first question asks if angle DFE is a right angle. And so let's go ahead and see if we can, first of all, find out what is DFE. So DFE means we go D, F, and then E in that order. That's how we name it, angle, DFE. And what the problem is asking is DFE a right angle? So does that form a right angle? And so what it's asking is, are the slopes of those two lines perpendicular? Because perpendicular lines make a right angle. So what we're really asking is this line DA that goes like this, is that perpendicular to this line BE? And the way that we write perpendicular is with this upside down T, DA BE. And I'm going to put a little question mark above my symbol because we don't know if they're perpendicular. We're asking, are they perpendicular? So we have to find two slopes here, the slope of DA and the slope of BE. So there's a couple of different ways that we can do this, that we can find the slopes of these lines. One is that we can use the coordinates of point A and the coordinates of point D and use the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But an even easier way, since we're given a graph, is to just count rise over run. From A to D, what's the rise and what's the run? The line's going up, so I know it's a positive slope, and let's just count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the rise, and the run is 1, 2. Okay, so dA is 5/2. Now let's do BE. So BE is going down, so I know BE is going to have a negative slope. That's good because I know perpendicular slopes have to have opposite signs. So let's do BE. Let me change colors here so it's easy to tell them apart. Let's see, B is going to be 1, 2, and we're going down, so the rise is -2, and the run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope of BE is -5/2. Is this a right angle? Yes, it is. But I'm not going to just say yes without proving my answer. If I just say yes, I haven't shown my work. I haven't proved that my answer is correct. So I'm going to say yes, DA is perpendicular to BE, so a right angle is formed. I don't want to just say yes and stop. I need to prove my answer. Now, part B here says, is each pair of opposite sides parallel? So what it's asking, let me switch colors again. Let's go with purple here. It's asking, is side CA parallel to side GE? And then it's also asking, are the top and bottom sides parallel as well? Now, parallel means, do they have the same slope? Well, CA and GE, let's start with those. These lines are both vertical. They're both going straight up. They do not have a run, and vertical lines have a slope that is undefined. So CA and GE are both parallel. That's our symbol for parallel, remember. Both, oops, both have undefined slope. And we know they're both undefined slope because they are vertical lines. Okay. And then the other pair of lines it's asking us about are, let's get a different color here. Let's go for something really obnoxious. Let's go for this really light sort of salmon pink color. Okay, it's asking us about CG and AE. Are those lines parallel? And those lines are also parallel because those are completely horizontal. They do not have a rise. You can see both of them have a rise of 0. So CG is parallel to AE. They both have a slope of 0 because they are horizontal lines. So the answer to the question is yes, but I don't want to just say yes and stop writing. I want to back up my answer. Yes, each pair of opposite sides is parallel. Here's my proof. These two sides are parallel because the slope's undefined. They're vertical lines. Vertical lines have an undefined slope. These two lines are parallel because they're horizontal lines, and horizontal lines always have a slope of 0. So I want to make sure that I'm answering the question. The questions were yes or no questions, but just writing yes or no is not good enough. I want to write yes or no, and then how do I know that the answer is yes or no?